Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody that has both. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the little alarm bell buttons down there, and do all the socially things scrolling past you on the screen right now. Also, come and follow me on the Patreon at patreon.com/earlymorningbarking, where you can get extra videos and podcasts and join the Discord and stuff like that. Okay. Today, this is very general, and it's sort of based on a Reddit that I saw a while ago that was about, it was asking the question, it seems there's a lot of people with cluster B problems on dating apps. And is it all right to date these people and that kind of thing? And the responses to the question were pretty awful, to be honest. And so it's sort of a thing I wanted to just cover in general. So I think if you are somebody, this is more for the non-cluster B crowd, I guess. So the people who watch the channel for purely informational purposes. And so to answer the question, should you date somebody with a cluster B personality disorder? I don't know. Do you think there's that clear an answer? Yes? No? We're all mad, we're all crazy, we all do weird stuff, and you should stay away from us all at all costs? Like, wow, really? No. As with most things in life, there is nuance, there is a grey area, which we as people with cluster B personality disorders might have trouble getting into, so hopefully, if I can get my head around this, so can everybody else. You see, when you start generalizing to the degree of asking, can I date somebody with a cluster B personality disorder? Wow, it's just so far ranging in what that could mean or involve. That's the crazy bit, right? That's the bit that really makes no sense. It is so vague, it almost makes no sense to have asked it as a question. There are several cluster B personality disorders. All of these personality disorders affect people differently, and each of those within themselves affect people differently still. So, for example, as you know, with BPD alone, there are 9 markers, and a person needs to have 5 of them to be classed as having BPD. So, there are so many ways that BPD can affect an individual. You can't even ask the question, should I date somebody with BPD? Really? There's no clear-cut answer to that, because a person might have any 5 of the 9 markers. I can't say, and neither can anybody else, how that BPD is affecting that person in their life. And the same goes for all of the other cluster B disorders. Should I date a narcissist? Possibly. Right? We aren't all malignant, controlling, nasty, horrible abusers. It's not a clear answer. There's no black and white yes or no. Some of us are affected more extremely by things. Some of us are having difficulty. Some of us might be difficult to deal with. And I understand that. We can be a burden. And again, that's up to an individual to decide how much of a burden we are and how much of a burden they're prepared to put up with. I can't say that, and neither can anybody else. This is all down to individuality. This is all down to a person you're with. To ask the question feels odd now, doesn't it? It feels a little strange to even think it, really. You need to ask, can I date a person? Can I date this person who I'm talking to, or whatever? Because only they know and can tell you how these things affect them, how these things play out in their life. There's only one person you can ask. And they aren't on YouTube, probably. Unless you're asking about me, in which case, hi, but you're not. So, I don't know. As with anything, the key to dealing with all of these things within a relationship of any kind is communication and talking to each other and finding these things out. Those answers aren't on Reddit. They aren't on Google. They aren't on Twitter. They aren't on Facebook. One person's experience is not the same as yours. You can't even ask a friend, hey, you dated somebody with BPD. What was that like? Because that person with BPD could be entirely different from your person with BPD. Maybe they only share one marker. And I'm assuming as well that if you're talking about somebody who has said to you, I have a cluster B personality disorder or whatever it is, then they themselves are aware of that. And if they're aware of that, are they doing the work to deal with that? I think that's got to be an important factor as well. You know, look, do you see them improving? Do you see them going to therapy, doing whatever it is they are doing to fix themselves, to get better? Because that's got to be a very crucial, important thing. I mean, gosh, does anybody want to get into a relationship with someone who is just in the throes of a personality disorder and doing nothing about it? I can't blame you for not wanting to walk into that. That's got to be a very, very special person there, hasn't it? And gosh, even at that point, how well can you know a person who is that deeply ensconced in that when they don't even really know themselves? But again, that's down to your individual. That's down to your person with a cluster B personality disorder. I don't know them. I don't know how they're doing. But they've got to be doing some work, I think. You know, set yourself boundaries. Set yourself things you are prepared to live with, things you aren't. When things reach a point, when will you leave? All of this. There's a degree of looking after yourself involved. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a chance on somebody. I think there's when we consider these things, it almost implies that to attempt a relationship with somebody who doesn't have a cluster B personality disorder will go perfectly because they're fine, right? So, yeah. And that's definitely not true. There's no guarantees of this. Yeah, we can look at likelihoods and that sort of thing. And yeah, you don't want to get into a relationship with a full-blown malignant narcissist right now, especially one that's doing no work. There are things to avoid, things to look at, but I can't say for sure. I have MPD. I've never been a malignant, gaslighting, controlling narcissist within a relationship. That's never been my thing. So, I don't know. Could that be it? There are so many potential red flags, but who knows, right? Who knows? I think the best thing to do, besides talking to your person, would be to educate yourself on what these potential things are and how they might affect your relationship. To ask questions. And to keep yourself somewhat boundaried, safe, protected. Not detached as such, but aware of when you might need to pull a ripcord and bail out. But these things are true of any relationship. These things are true of bringing new people into our lives in any capacity. It's good to, I've always felt, have some barriers there. Have not distance, just boundaries. Things I can tolerate, things I can't, things I like, things I don't. That sort of thing. And this applies to all kinds of relationships, friendships, whatever. But when we're thinking, can you be in a relationship with someone with a cluster B personality disorder? Maybe. Maybe. Some people are and are very happy. It depends on your individual. I hope that helps. And also, if you are a person with a cluster B personality disorder, you are perfectly deserving and capable of love and to be loved. And you can do the work to get over your problems because you have this determination within you, right? You're here looking for this encouragement, for that reassurance. And there it is. You can have it. We all have our pros and our cons, and none of us are really as bad as we think, I think, except the people who are. I'm just rambling now. Oh dear. You take care. I'll see you later. Bye.